Welcome to the Fresh Start Show, sponsored by 911 Restoration, the Fresh Start Company.
All right, ready to dive into franchising.
Let's do it.
We're going deep on this one.
Yeah.
Using how to choose the right franchise to guide us.
Okay.
Want to figure out if franchising is your path to being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
This guide, it starts off with some seriously smart questions to ask yourself before you even start looking at different franchises.
Yeah, it's like you're laying a foundation before you build. Right. You don't just start throwing bricks around.
Exactly.
This guide really stresses how important it is to make sure your passions and values match the business.
Oh, yeah.
Not just going after the money.
It's about building a life that you're actually excited about.
Absolutely.
Not just clocking in and out,
Yeah.
I love how the guide says that figuring out your strengths is like discovering your entrepreneurial superpower.
Yeah, it's kind of cool how it makes you look inside yourself first.
Right.
Let's say you're a natural at organizing.
Okay.
Like a systems person.
Yeah.
A franchise with a really structured operational framework. That might be perfect for you.
So if I'm someone who loves connecting with people,
Right.
maybe a customer-facing franchise is better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a restaurant or, I don't know, a personal training studio.
You want a franchise that really uses your natural talents.
Right.
Instead of making you work outside your comfort zone all the time.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now, this next part, this really hit home for me.
Okay.
The guide. It talks about going beyond just financial goals.
Right.
And really defining your vision of success.
Yeah, what does your ideal life look like?
What does it actually look like? Yeah.
It's not just about the money.
Right.
Is it freedom, like setting your own hours?
Yeah.
Flexibility to travel?
Maybe.
Or building something from nothing and watching it succeed.
Yeah.
It's about that.
Once you have that vision, then you can start looking at franchises and be like, okay, does this actually let me live that life?
Right.
And if it doesn't, move on.
I love that. It's a really practical approach.
Yeah.
And here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
The guide, it compares researching franchises to online dating.
Oh, interesting.
You can't just be fooled by the fancy brochures and all the promises of easy money.
Don't swipe right just because the profile picture looks good.
Exactly.
Right.
The key is you got to talk to current franchise owners.
Okay.
Don't just listen to the sales pitch from the franchisor.
Get the real scoop.
Yeah, ask them about the good and the bad, even the ugly stuff.
Yeah.
What surprised them?
Yeah, what were their biggest challenges?
Exactly.
Would they do it all again?
Yeah, knowing what they know now.
It's like getting advice from someone who's actually been on those dates.
Right.
Not just reading the, curated reviews online.
Totally.
While we're on this topic of red flags,
what
should people be watching out for?
I'd say if a franchise is promising you huge profits with zero effort, be very careful.
Right.
Building any successful business, it takes hard work and dedication.
It does.
It doesn't matter what the franchise model is.
It's tempting to believe those get-rich-quick schemes.
It is.
But if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Right.
This next part, this really resonated with me.
Okay.
The guide, it talks about the impact you can have through franchising, not just on your own life, but on your team, your community, even beyond that.
It's bigger than just you.
Yeah.
It challenges you to think beyond just profits.
Right.
Franchising, it can be a really powerful way to create positive change.
Okay.
You're creating jobs, contributing to the local economy.
Yeah. Maybe
even offering products or services that really improve people's lives.
This really connects with my desire to find a career that's both fulfilling and impactful.
Absolutely.
It's about building something that matters, not just a bank account. This makes me think of 9/11 Restoration.
Oh, yeah.
And their whole fresh start attitude.
That's a great example.
They provide such a vital service, helping people recover from disaster.
Right. They focus on restoring lives.
Yeah.
Not just properties.
Exactly.
And that sense of purpose, it drives everything they do.
And they empower their franchisees to be leaders in their communities. It creates a ripple effect of positive change.
And it really highlights how choosing the right franchise can be about finding that perfect match between your skills, your passions, and your desire to make a difference.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about finding your passion, figuring out what your vision is.
Right.
Now let's talk about actually researching these opportunities. Like getting into it.
Yeah.
The guide has a whole section about due diligence.
It does.
It's full of great advice.
It really stresses that this is a big decision.
Yeah.
You shouldn't rush into it.
Right.
Like you're making a serious investment.
Right. It's not like an impulse buy.
Exactly. You wouldn't just buy a house without checking it out first.
No.
Same with a franchise.
So where do we even begin with this whole due diligence thing?
Well, the guide really emphasizes talking to current franchise owners.
Okay.
That's your chance to get, like, the inside scoop.
Yeah, the unfiltered truth.
Yeah, about what it's really like.
Right, like behind the scenes.
Yeah, like what's it like to actually run this business day to day?
Yeah, is the support really there?
Exactly.
Like they say it is.
And don't be afraid to ask the hard questions.
Okay, like what?
What were the toughest things they faced that first year?
Okay.
How does the franchisor actually help them?
Yeah.
Would they do it again?
Knowing what they know now.
Right.
That's great. It's like having a mentor
Yeah,
who's already done it.
exactly.
This part might make some people nervous, but the guide talks about really understanding the financials,
Yeah, that's important.
like getting comfortable with the numbers.
You have to get comfortable with the numbers.
It doesn't have to be super overwhelming, right?
Right. The franchise disclosure document, the FDD, that's key.
Okay, the FTD.
It lays out all the costs.
It's like the blueprint, but it can be kind of dense.
It can.
What should we focus on?
Definitely pay attention to the initial investment.
Okay.
It varies a lot depending on the franchise.
Right.
You'll see things like franchise fees, equipment costs, starting inventory.
So it's not just that upfront fee. It's
right.
everything.
All those other costs.
And don't forget the ongoing fees and royalties.
Absolutely. Those are usually a percentage of what you make that you pay back to the franchisor.
You got to factor that into your, like, profit calculation.
Exactly.
And speaking of profits, we can't ignore those promises that seem too good to be true.
The guide warns you about falling for that.
Right.
The easy money, overnight success,
Right.
building a profitable franchise, a real one.
Yeah.
It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
It's like anything worthwhile.
It is.
No magic bullet, but hard work and the right support, you can do great things.
Yeah.
And talking about support, the guide talks about evaluating that support structure.
The franchisor support.
Yeah. What should we be looking for?
Think of it like you're sizing up a business partner.
Okay.
You want someone who wants you to succeed.
Right. Not just taking your money.
Exactly.
What are some signs of a supportive franchisor?
Look for training programs that really cover everything.
Okay.
All aspects of the business.
And not just handing you a manual.
Right. Ideally, you get hands-on training.
Right. Learning from people who know what they're doing.
Exactly. And it shouldn't just be at the beginning.
Right.
What about ongoing support?
Like with marketing, technology.
Yeah, things like business planning.
You're saying they should be there for you all the way?
Absolutely. A partner in your success.
Not just when you're getting started. And don't forget the franchise network.
So important.
Can you talk more about that?
It's like a built-in support group.
Okay.
People who understand the business.
Right.
You can share ideas, best practices, get advice.
Like people who've been there, done that.
Exactly. They know the challenges.
It's like a team of mentors you can call anytime.
It is.
And there's that shared purpose, that camaraderie.
It's not just about the business. It's the people you're with.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, the guide reminds us to think about how it fits into our lives.
Yeah, not just the money.
We talked about passions, vision, but how does that play out here?
Yeah, and choosing.
Ask yourself, how much time can I give to this? What kind of work-life balance do I want?
Yeah.
Does this franchise give me that flexibility, that freedom?
That's important. What's the point of being your own boss if you're working all the time?
Right, you want it to enhance your life, not take over.
Exactly.
Think about the hours, how hands-on it is. Can you scale it as your life changes?
This makes me think of 9/11 restoration again.
Yeah.
Their fresh start philosophy.
They get it.
They know it's about more than just money.
It's about your well-being.
They support their franchisees, training, network, empowerment.
That holistic approach.
It's not just selling franchises, it's building a community.
People who are passionate, who want to make a difference.
So as we wrap up this due diligence part, any final tips?
Remember, it's your journey.
Oh.
Don't rush. Trust your gut.
If something feels off.
Move on. There are plenty of other options out there.
I love that.
Don't be afraid to ask the hard questions.
Yeah.
You're the one investing.
Right.
Be thorough.
Yeah.
Don't forget your vision.
Okay.
What do you want this to do for your life, your community, the world?
Use that as your guide.
Exactly.
Welcome back for the final part of our franchising deep dive.
We're in the home stretch.
It feels like we've already talked about so much.
We have.
But this is where it gets real.
It is.
Choosing the franchise that's right for you.
Exactly. We've covered passions, crunch numbers, vetted opportunities.
We've done our homework.
Now we zoom in on those franchises that got you interested.
Oh.
Figure out which one is the perfect fit.
So let's say I've got it down to a few. What are the key things to think about now?
Okay.
The guide talks a lot about the support system.
That's huge. Think of the franchisor like your business partner.
Okay.
You want someone invested in you, not just collecting checks.
Right, someone who's there for you.
Especially in those first days, and even as you grow later on.
So what parts of that support system should I be looking at?
Start with the training program.
Okay.
Is it thorough? Does it cover everything about running the business?
Like operations, marketing, customer service, all that.
All of it.
I'm guessing hands-on training is better than just reading a manual, right?
Absolutely. You want to learn by doing.
Yeah.
From people who have experience.
Right. The pros.
And don't just focus on that initial training.
Okay, what else?
What kind of ongoing support do they offer? Marketing help, technology updates, help with business planning, those things.
So they should be there for the long haul, not just the setup.
Exactly. A partner in your long-term success.
I like that.
And speaking of partners, don't forget about the franchise network.
We talked about that a little before.
Yeah.
Why is that so important?
It's like having this built-in support group.
Okay.
People who really get the business.
They've been in the trenches.
You can bounce ideas off them, share what works, get advice.
People who faced those same challenges.
Exactly.
It's like a whole team of mentors you can just call up.
It really is.
And there's that sense of community, that shared purpose.
It's more than just the business, it's the people you're with.
It really is a lifestyle.
The guide reminds us to think about how it all fits into our lives.
Not just the financial side.
We talk about passions, vision, but how do we use that here?
When we're making this decision.
Ask yourself, how much time can I realistically commit? What kind of work-life balance do I want? Does this franchise give me that flexibility, that freedom?
What's the point of being your own boss if you're always working?
Exactly. You want a business that makes your life better.
Not one that runs it?
Think about the hours, how hands-on it is. Can it grow as your life changes?
This reminds me of 9/11 restoration again.
Yeah.
Fresh start philosophy.
They really understand.
It's about more than just the money.
It's your well-being your whole life.
They have the training, the network, that sense of empowerment.
It's a holistic approach.
It's not just selling franchises. It's about building a community.
Of passionate people, people who want to make a difference.
So as we wrap up this deep dive on franchising, what are the key things you want listeners to remember?
First, trust your instincts.
Okay.
If it doesn't feel right, walk away. There are other options.
Plenty of fish in the sea, as they say.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask those tough questions.
It's your investment.
You have the right to be thorough. Don't lose sight of your vision. What do you want this business to do? For your life, your community, the world.
Let that guide you.
It's your North Star.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been fun.
We hope you feel ready to take that next step.
On your entrepreneurial journey.
And remember, we're here to support you.
All the way.
Happy franchising, everyone.
To fresh starts.
The Fresh Start Show have been sponsored by 911 Restoration, the Fresh Start Company.